There's no better sight in the world than watching a magician successfully perform a daredevil act. And when the magician displays some intense stuff, the nerve levels are bound to go up. So be it the infamous sword stabbing trick, or the magician attempting to survive the hungry wild alligators. Hello and welcome back, and today we're gonna figure out the secrets behind the world's most dangerous magic tricks. So, let's get started. At number 5, surviving the spike tower. The magician named Michael Grandinetti is not any ordinary magician. He has even survived the deadly wall of fire. Here's what he did. The magician is chained at the wrists, waist, and legs and secured to a steel frame on a 6-foot-tall platform above the stage. On each side of the platform is a wall of 12-inch-long razor-sharp steel spikes locked into a spring release. The spring release is remotely controlled by an hourglass. Once the sand flows through the timer, the spring is released and the wall of spikes slam towards Michael at great speed. To make matters worse, Michael was covered in both gasoline and kerosene, so we would all assume that it's impossible to survive such an enormous impact. But to everyone's surprise, he magically comes out of the tower totally unharmed. So, when exactly did he escape from the wall of fiery spikes? Well, here's the secret. The spike tower is one of the most dangerous illusions ever attempted. The fact that there was fire and kerosene at the same place could have made it worse. After Michael is handcuffed and goes inside the setup, you can see the white cloth covering the cage, so there's no way out from the front side. Once the timer starts, the special backlight is turned on so that we can watch him attempting the escape. The wrist, legs, and handcuffs are real, but the secret lies in the hinges. Yes, he slides out a thin pin of the hinges so that the cuffs can be unlocked easily. But when did he remove all the pins, as everything was visible to the viewers? After the cage was covered and before the lights turned on, there was a moment when he wasn't visible to us from the front. Now he makes use of that time to remove all the pins out of the hinges. Also, to ensure his safety, the back door can be easily opened and he makes a quick exit out of the cage. However, the cloth and the backlights create the illusion that he's still inside the cage. Finally, the wall of fire spikes slam onto him as the backlights turn off, and there's no one inside when the cloth uncovers. So, where did he disappear all of a sudden? Well, there's a secret passage at the backside of the cage from where he escapes out and quickly dresses himself as an assistant. Also, if you notice, after the walls slam onto him and the lights turn off, the camera zooms in, which makes the two assistants out of picture. Finally, he swaps his position with one of the assistants and reveals himself to end this amazing illusion. At number 4, the human blockhead. Quite disgusting. We'd assume after watching this picture, this would be the first reaction from most of you rather than disbelief. It's called the human blockhead act, and it's a very old and famous performance on various stage shows around the world. It consists of a performer taking a nail or some other frightful item, and in some cases a powerful drill, and hammering it straight into his nasal cavity via the nostril. Looking at the various images circulated on the internet, the stunt is often shocking to audiences who believe that the nail is being hammered into the skull itself. So, does he perform the stunt in real? Or is it just an illusion? Well, before we reveal what's behind it, this act is very dangerous, and you should never try this at home or anywhere else. It's better if we leave it to the professionals who perform such an act in a controlled environment with years of practice behind. Now, some of you'd think it's just not possible to insert a nail inside a human face. Maybe the nail was fake and collapsible, or it's just sleight of hand, and he didn't actually stab a nail into his face. Well, that's not true. There's no gimmick involved, and for the fact, it's all real. Also, the theory that the nail goes inside the head is totally wrong, and instead there's a science involved behind the act. The way the human skull is shaped, there is a giant hole in the middle of it, right behind the nose. The nose itself is made almost completely of cartilage, aside from the stuff right between your eyes called the bridge. The rest of the space is to make room for your sinuses to link together, connecting your throat and nose. To perform the act, the performer merely learns the terrain of the nasal cavity and lessens his urge to sneeze. He then simply pushes the nail into that tunnel that links the nose and throat until it hits the back of the throat. The rest is all stage skills, and the use of a hammer merely adds to the shock value by creating the illusion that the nail is indeed being pounded through the bone. At number 3, Girl Cut in Thirds Illusion. In the world of magic, it is a very common sight to see a magician cutting a girl in half and then magically bringing her back to life. However, the illusion we are going to see now is an improvement over the classic ones. Here, she will not be covered by a box or any other prop. Also, the act involves the use of a pendulum as sharp as any deadly sword. In this variant, the magician cuts the girl's body not in 2, but in 3 parts. To make it look convincing to the audience, he even takes out the middle torso section of the girl and shows it to everyone. Finally, he keeps her torso back in place and joins her together to end this amazing illusion. So, how did he do it? Well, before revealing the secret, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get instant notifications of our new video uploads. Now, let's quickly get to the secret. Contrary to the split-in-half illusion, this trick doesn't involve the use of a box placed on top of the girl, and we can actually see the girl being cut into pieces. Also in this illusion, there's no need of 2 different girls, and the mechanism is quite different to the older variant. The trick lies in the way she positions herself on the table. When the girl lies down, she lowers down the middle part of her body and positions herself in a bent position as shown here. So her real torso is safely hidden inside the table, and it appears as if she's lying flat on the table. Also, the pillow support allows her to rest safely in that awkward position. But still, after the pendulum cuts through her middle torso, how did they remove it out? Well, to make the illusion possible, the girl was already wearing a form-fitting body cast made of a very thin fiber material, and it was hidden under her dress. Now, some of you would have figured it out by now. Yes, when the pendulum passes through her dress, it was that form-fitting body cast which was cut in pieces and shown to everyone while she was resting safely underneath. Also, to protect her from the sharp blades of the pendulum, a steel plate was placed in between her torso and the body prop, which you can see them removing thereafter. Finally, the fake torso is put back in place and tied with her dress as she gets back up to create this amazing illusion. At number 2, the sword stabbing illusion. The impalement by sword is one of the most spectacular illusions in all of magic. For sheer drama, it's a tough one to beat. First, the magician places the girl on tip of the sword and then freely rotates her for a while. Moments later, the sharp tip of the sword goes right through her body, leaving us all in total disbelief. He then magically lifts her up as the girl safely gets off the sword to amaze everyone around. So, how did she survive this dangerous act? Well, here's the secret. The trick looks quite terrifying and you should never try this at home or anywhere else. Now, the secret lies in the special back support hidden under the girl's dress. Also, the back support has a small slot to hold the sword inside it. In addition, the sword is custom built and strong enough to hold the girl's weight and lift her up whenever needed. So when the magician places her on the sword, the sharp tip of the sword collapses and hides inside its bottom part, which eventually enters the hole in the back support. This makes the girl to balance easily in the air, and the sheer strength of the sword makes her to rotate freely. The girl also wore a special device strapped onto her stomach, so at this very moment, a fake sword from the device appears through her stomach that creates the shocking illusion of a sword going straight through her. So finally, the most dangerous trick on our list, the alligator escape act. The name says it all. In this act, the magician named Lord Nil attempts to save himself from wild alligators on America's Got Talent. Strapped inside a straitjacket, he was hung up in midair above a cage full of hungry alligators and had to escape safely before the 3 ropes on fire burned through. Such was the danger level that Mel B pressed the buzzer in a nervous attempt to save him. Finally, when the third and final rope was about to burn off, he successfully managed to escape just in the nick of time. The act looked quite real, but is there a trick involved? Well, let's find out what's the secret behind. The trick looked quite dangerous, but had it not been for the support ropes, he wouldn't have escaped. The ring on which he was hanging upside down was set up involving 3 ropes, but was designed to support his body weight on just 1 rope. Yes, the other 2 ropes were just there to create the fearful elements in the act and were smartly burned off as and when needed, so he could easily stay in the air using a single rope. Also, all 3 ropes that supported him in air were made of fireproof material and do not break off. Only to make the act look convincing to viewers, his assistant remotely controls the ropes and then releases the other 2 ropes when required to create the fear factor. But then, how did he escape through the straitjacket? It's an age-old trick escaping out of the straitjacket and requires generating slack in the arms. When there's enough slack, the magician puts his arms above his head and takes off the jacket. The jacket was made out of a loose, flexible material to make the job easier. Also, if you notice, the authenticity wasn't verified by the judges, and it was her fiancé who tied him in the straitjacket. Finally, he escapes out successfully to end this amazing act. So guys, hope you got the secrets behind the world's most dangerous magic tricks. Which of the 5 tricks was the most dangerous? And name any other video topics you would like us to create. Tell us in the comments below. Do like and share this video with your friends on social media. For more such amazing things, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And finally, thanks for watching.